Hi, I'm Renee McAlexander, and this is my God with Us story. It was June 2014, and the kids' ministry was now on the downhill side of our week-long Summer Splash event. I think all of us were in a bit of a countdown mode, and I know that Mac and I were. It had been a really busy season for both of us at work, and so we were planning a quick little getaway at the end of the week. The day started off as usual, my cup of coffee and my quiet time with the Lord. And as I opened this devotion, these were the words that prepared me for that day. Stay calmly conscious of me today, no matter what. Remember that I go before you as well as with you into the day. Nothing takes me by surprise. I will not allow circumstances to overwhelm you so long as you look to me. I will help you cope with whatever the moment presents. Collaborating with me brings blessings that far outweigh all your troubles. Awareness of my presence contains joy that can endure all eventualities. So as my husband and I were getting ready for work, Max said to me, I think I'm going to ride the bike for the rest of the week just to save gas. And then he ran downstairs to get his gear together. And that wasn't unusual for him. It wasn't anything out of the ordinary for him to do that. And he was off to work. It was about 5:30 in the morning. And in about an hour, I stopped by and picked up a friend who lived just around the corner. She was also helping with our Summer Splash event. And about a half mile from our house, there's an intersection. And the light was red as we approached, but also the street was blocked off going forward. There was the yellow tape that cordoned off that area, and there was also a police car that was sitting sideways across the intersection. And as I looked down the street, you could see that at the other end, it was also cordoned off in the same way. And I could see over the top of the police car that there was a white SUV that was parked at an angle, like maybe it was turning into the driveway that was by the donut shop. The light turned green, and so I turned to the left. And as I turned, I glanced back, and I could see past the police car, the full scene. And it looked like there was something that was up against the passenger side of the SUV, but I really couldn't see clearly. So I asked Deanna, take a look. Do you think that looks like a motorcycle? And she did, and she said, yeah, maybe it might be. I asked Deanna to grab my phone and to call Mac. And so she did, but he didn't answer. We just kept calling over and over on Mac's phone and just let it ring and then redialed it. Somebody finally answered the phone. And I was a little startled because it was a woman. And so I said, who is this? And she said, well, who is this? And I said, well, since you have my husband's phone, who are you? And she said, you're his wife? And I said, yes. And she said, your husband has been in an accident and he is at RCH. When we got to the hospital, I went in and they took me to a room that was right off the waiting room area. It was a large room. There was seating all around the room area, but I didn't feel alone. I could still. I was so evident. It was God's presence was with me, and I was in prayer when the nurse came into the room, and it happened to be the nurse that had been talking to me on the phone, and she came and sat down in front of me, and she took my hands in hers. And she said, we did everything we could for your husband, but he's gone. I am so, so sorry. Can I stop a second? I felt a profound sadness, a can't catch your breath heaviness. But God is so good, He is so faithful. And those words that He shared came back to me right then that were from the devotion that morning. He said, I will not allow circumstances to overwhelm you so long as you look to me. I will help you cope with whatever the moment presents. And I felt again that warm presence of the Lord with me. I felt no anger. I had no need to ask questions. I know God is sovereign and He is faithful. He's working things for good. And I knew that I had the assurance of the hope of the future. And so I knew I would see my husband again. I knew he was in the arms of Jesus. When we left the hospital, we still didn't have any information. In the days and weeks that followed, God showed us in so many ways how He had cared tenderly and completely for Mac as he carried him home. For me, God was faithful to meet me each morning in His Word, to encourage me. Those mornings I woke up feeling anxious or feeling that there was so much uncertainty going forward. God met me and encouraged me in His Word and in my time of just resting in Him. In the weeks that followed, God was my constant companion, always. Just walking with me and navigating through the new rhythms, the new life rhythms that I was learning and the new things I was experiencing. And He was just so faithful to encourage and give me hope as I moved forward. I know that God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And He is sufficient to meet all my needs on this journey going forward. I later wrote at the bottom of my devotion, "This is the day my life changed forever. Today, I saw my God." I'm Renee, and this was my God with Us story.